So a few changes in my Uber slash Lyft saga. Finally I got the stickers. So put them together on the front, and in the back they wanted Lyft to be on this side. So I got Uber here, and of course my windows in the back are tinted from the factory, so it's hard to see. But last time I talked to hold on a second. Yeah, last time I talked to Uber was Monday. Today is Friday, and they told me to wait, don't bother them for another 2-3 days, because basically one thing I missed, and I'm not ashamed to admit that I made not a mistake, but I did everything, and sorry about that, and my documents showed everything is cool with Uber. But what I did not do, I thought it was not urgent, I did not fill out my tax information. And because they charge sales tax, which I'm supposed to transfer to the government every month or every 3 months, it depends on your limits, right? And over here we have GST, goods and sales tax, GST. In Ontario it was called HST, harmonized sales tax. So here it's GST 5%. And basically you go there in the app, and it's called tax in account. Under account it's called tax info, and you fill out your name, your legal name in case you're organization, and then your legal address, and I think I don't remember if you need your phone number. No, I think just the name, the address, and then the GST number. And I am registered for GST, because when I was a trucker, I dealt with these taxes all the time, and so you have to put in that like a 9-digit account number, and then you click consent and submit. And after that, they said you just wait 2-3 business days, and then the system will update. And so I keep signing out, signing back in, my Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I reinstalled the app, I installed it again, signed in, still the same message, cannot go online. And when I look at Work Hub, where they show you opportunities, all I see is Uber Pets and Uber Eats. There's no Uber X, And so finally I lost patience today. Again, I installed the app, reinstalled it on the way home. Still nothing. So again, I call them. So last time I talked to them Monday. And actually today is July 12th, which is a week ago. One guy also told me that wait until July 12th. If nothing happens, then call us. And so this kind of like coincided, like two recommendations. And so I call him again today, and a lady picks up the phone. Sorry about that. A lady picks up the phone, and I quickly explain the situation, and I don't care. I'm totally indifferent at this time, because I just wanted to get on the road with Lyft. I just did a quick lunch. Dinner. Got some what do you call it? Dumplings. Got some Chinese dumplings. And so I took a shower because I worked today, right? And then I thought, okay, I don't care, so I'm eating my dumplings and I'm talking to this lady. And so I was 100% positive that nothing will happen. So, I'm just, okay, so here's the deal. Cannot go online. All documents submitted. TNDL was received July 2nd. Last thing I did, you guys told me I had to fill out the tax information. Did that. So, but it's already Friday, and it's the end of the stampede. I really would appreciate it if you guys would let me go online and make some money, because these are the last 3 days of the stampede, a big festival in Calgary. And so the lady put me on hold, for 2 minutes. I finished my dumplings. She came back on. Yeah, everything looks good. Let me try something else here. She comes back on and she says, oh, could you look in your app? What do you have under, like opportunities? What are you registered for? And I looked and I said, all I see is Uber Pets and Uber Deliveries. And she says, you don't see Uber X? I said, no, that's been a problem from day one. Like I lost Uber X somehow, which is, rides. And she says, okay, let me try something here. Let me put you on hold for another 2 minutes. I'm like, okay, whatever, I know it's not gonna work. And then she comes back after 2 minutes. She says, okay, I changed something in your account. Could you please delete the app and reinstall it? I'm like, holy moly. I did it like 20 times since Monday. And she said, well, but I changed your account, so you have to do it. Otherwise, it's not going to work. I said, okay. And she said, while we are on the phone. Okay. So I put her on the speakerphone and deleted the app, went to my app store because I have an iPhone, and reinstalled it. Right away, it logged me in automatically because I've been doing it so often. I guess it just keeps it in memory. And then all of a sudden I see something different. Even though that message is there, error, cannot go online. But instead of before, it used to say call support, cannot go online, call support. But now instead of that, it says cannot go online, take a selfie. What? That's something different, right? Different is always good. So I take a selfie because they tell you what to do. Take a selfie. And then I get a message, okay, thanks for confirming. And then all of a sudden, boom. And at the bottom it says, you are online. What? I couldn't believe it. So, and the lady is still on the phone. And I said, miss, it looks like I'm online. It asked me for the selfie. I did that. And the app just kicked me in. So now I'm waiting for my first passenger. And she says, yeah, well, I'm glad I was able to help. I said, well, thank you so much. I said, you're like probably support person number 87 that I called about this and nobody was able to help me. But basically, yeah, so that tax info was important. That's what they were, waiting for. And once I did that, all they had to do was to add Uber X. And I told them, can you please remove food deliveries? I said, I don't want to do food deliveries. I'm happy with just the rides. And so I didn't start the Lyft because I was waiting to see. Sorry, I'm just trying to put something in my pocket. I didn't start the Lyft because I was waiting to see what's gonna happen, because Lyft is actually good in my area, but it's cheap, right? And so I waited for Uber, and probably 10 minutes later, by the time I hid away all my plates and forks and stuff like that from the actually, then they're still here. Man, I didn't hide anything. But so the phone beeped and I got my first ever Uber ride. I was so excited. And it was right next here. It was probably man, it's a mess over here. It was probably a kilometer away. I picked up a guy and what looked like his son or his friend. And they were going to Stampede. And right away I see the difference because I made $28 on the first run. It was about 20 kilometers, but Lyft never paid that much because I went quite often to Stampede from this area. I think it was more like $15 or $17, And so I did that one, and then when I was in downtown, I did a couple of short ones, like $5 and $5, and one $5 run for Uber again was a lady had like 10 bags full of food, and she just came out of the Real Canadian Superstore, and I took her maybe 3 kilometers, for $5. But I helped her with the bags because there was a lot of bags. She gave me a $5 tip. And then it kind of like calmed down after that around like 7 or 7:30. So I started Lyft finally. I started Lyft, and 10 minutes later got an offer again, $5, but it was going like 2 kilometers. So I picked up two ladies from a downtown hotel, and they said they were from Texas. And they were going to Dollarama, like a cheap retail store. And we're driving there, and I just asked, you guys gonna be there long? You want me to stick around maybe? And they said, yeah, please stick around. We're just picking up some tissue. And so once I dropped them off, I just waited there in the parking lot, but I started Uber again. Uber and Lyft, just thinking, whatever gives me a ride first. And all of a sudden, boom, 2 minutes later, Lyft beeps again. The same name, Kate. And I see they're waving at me from the entrance of the Dollarama. And so $5 back to the hotel. And they gave me $5 tip for each run. So on this, and that's another reason, never say no to cheap, what seems to be cheap, like $5 for 2 kilometers. But they're Americans. So what's $5? It's like $3 US. For them, it's very cheap, right? And so they gave me, I did 2 short runs for them, right? And because I showed some initiative, and the car was clean, and I played some nice music, and I keep the climate control, at pleasant temperature. So I made 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5. I made $20 Canadian, I don't know, in 20 minutes, And then I think I started driving back because it was already getting late. It was closer to like 9 o'clock, like 8:30. And Uber got me at McKnight Boulevard. But basically, when I was halfway to my apartment, Uber says, okay, we have a ride for you like 2 kilometers away if you take the exit at McKnight Boulevard from Highway 2. Holy moly. And I didn't have a time to see which way it was going. And sure enough, I go there, and it's 3 ladies going to downtown. And I'm like, holy moly, is it Stampede again? No. Thanks God, they were not going to Stampede. They were just going to like basically 17th Ave, check out some restaurants. And so I think it was like $15. And then again, I started driving back home, and I was on Highway 1, going east towards Highway 2. And again, Uber gave me another ride, and I accepted it. And then when I picked up the lady, I look at the screen, and to my relief, she was not going downtown. She was not going to Stampede. She was going northwest, just near the airport. And so from there, after I dropped her off, I turned off Uber, and I just drove. It was only like 9 kilometers to my home. And so I did like 70. Oh, one guy in Uber also gave me $1 tip. So I made about $75 on Uber and $20 on Lyft. So pretty much $100. And I can see right away that Uber is way more popular. It's way busy. And I remember I was talking to one guy, and he said he never actually even got down to getting Lyft because he was very busy with Uber. And I thought, what an idiot, But now I see that, Uber still slows down, right? Slows down when like 8 o'clock, most people were still at restaurants. Nobody was going, out of downtown. So people were going to downtown because it's Friday, right? And I was in downtown, and that's why it slowed down still. And that's when I started Lyft, which was super helpful because I got these 2 ladies from Texas, right? And I made $20, which I wouldn't have made if I just stick with Uber. So I think it's definitely a winning strategy to have both apps running, and then unfortunately Lyft does not have an option of pause or basically a break, whereas Uber has that. And so let's say if I'm sitting and I have Uber and Lyft running, if I get an offer from Lyft, it's very easy. I just switch the screen to Uber and I click that little cup or mug picture, which is break, like pause, and they pause it for 30 minutes. But if I get something from Uber, then I just go offline on Lyft, because again, they don't have a pause button, right? Because otherwise, it's gonna be both apps might ring at the same time, which is confusing. And so yeah, I don't do Uber Eats. I still have DoorDash. I still carry a bag in my trunk, but that's really for extreme cases when there's nothing. But again, Uber was it was a relief, it was a relief, like one after another pretty much. So I did 5 rides with Uber and 2 rides with Lyft, and I can see the difference. I'm telling you, I can see the difference. Much more passengers use Uber. The rates are better for drivers. And yeah, so I'm super happy that I got Uber working on Friday. So we still have Saturday and Sunday tomorrow, the last 2 days of Stampede. So unfortunately tomorrow I'm working because one of the other driver that was supposed to work, he took a long weekend, and like he was working instead of me when I was doing photography at these Stampede breakfast events. And so I said, yeah, okay, I'll take your Saturday shift. And so I'm working tomorrow 7 to 1, and I'm gonna bring all my clothes to work and just wash up over there in the bathroom. Just put on these clothes. That's what I was wearing, some basically swimming trunks and a t-shirt, because it's still hot, and so then clean up the car. I have all these wipes and everything, right? So, and I have the spray, clean up the leather seats, clean up the mats, the door handles and doors on the side there, and that's it. Start Uber and Lyft and see whoever gives me the first run. But Saturdays are always busy. Last Saturday I made close to $200. I was pretty happy with that. So again, really looking forward to making some money these last 2 days of Stampede. So, and I got signs for Lyft, so I was able to remove those homemade signs. So now the car looks pretty good. So I'm super happy.